Welcome to the Proofreading Workshop, brought to you by the Writing Center at the Academic Resource Center. So what is proofreading and why is it important? So proofreading is the manner in which you're going to go about catching the errors that you have within your writing. These errors might include some grammar mistakes, some punctuation, spelling, or vocabulary errors, but also unclear wording or descriptions, right? It checks the consistency and also the format of the paper and making sure that you have met the assignment guidelines. And it is very important because it helps to make sure that what you have written is understood by the reader. So there are 4 different techniques to proofreading that we'd like to suggest for this particular workshop. 1, you can read your own work out loud. Hearing your own words, right, can sometimes help you hear something that is not there. What's happening is the science has shown that when we read, especially if we're reading silently, especially something that we might have written, our mind will automatically correct it because we know what we wanted to say. And so there might be a missing letter or a comma or a misspelled word, and our minds will auto-correct it. When we read it out loud and it's misspelled or missing, we stop, like, wait, is that of or for? And so that is a way that we can detect our own errors. And also, reading out loud can sometimes help the writer understand if they have the right tone of the paper. Another thing you could do is have someone else read it aloud, right? This can give you a second perspective. Besides the fact that another person reading it out loud might be able to give you feedback, right? You can evaluate when you hear your words coming out of someone else's mouth if your paper has the intended message, right? This also allows you to see if there's some unclear wording, right? Or if you might want to arrange it different. You might hear a paragraph and think, maybe that second paragraph should come before the first paragraph because that leads in better to help somebody listening to this or read it understand. So it's just all about perspective. Another thing you can do is read backwards. Now, reading backwards doesn't mean read error each mark to idea, right? Although that can be done if you're looking for spelling. But when we say read backwards, we generally mean start at the end of your document and read backwards. So if you're starting at the conclusion paragraph, you read the conclusion paragraph and then you evaluate if this conclusion is wrapping up the content and the purpose of the essay or meeting the assignment guidelines. If you notice that the conclusion of the paragraph doesn't have that information, or it hasn't listed the main points that you're pretty sure that you've made, or it doesn't have a call to action, and this is a persuasive paper, then that's the way of finding that error yourself. When you're proofreading, you want to take your time. Proofread your manuscript in small sections, right? If you write it, then you read the whole thing. Then sometimes, especially if you've written a number of pages, you get to the point where you really can't even see your errors anymore, right? So if you're reading and let's say that you're looking for vocabulary errors, then just read looking for vocabulary errors. Then if you say like, okay, now I'm going to read for the formatting of my paper, perhaps I have to present it in a particular format, like MLA formatting. Then now I'm proofreading to make sure that I have the correct heading and header and in-text citation, right? One very effective way to take your time is to take your manuscript and change the way it looks. So let's say your manuscript is in a 12 font. Then what you do is temporarily put your manuscript in a 16 font. What it does is it changes the way it looks in your brain, right? And it allows you to begin to focus on what's actually on the page as opposed to what you automatically know should be there. One thing you don't want to do is do not rely on the machine. Proofreading is a human activity, right? Computer programs can really be unreliable because sometimes they simply can't figure it out, right? Word processing, proofing programs, a lot of times they don't identify errors in logic. And so sometimes you can have a misspelled word or misspelled word, and it's in a different language, and the computer is reading it wrong when you meant it to be right. Or you can have a sentence that is not formatted correctly, right? But because each one of the words is actually spelled correctly, then the computer program might not even highlight it, right? So you can use these things, and sometimes, they'll show up the little lines and whatnot to help you, but just don't rely on them, right, when you're turning in your work. You want to proofread it and make sure things are in order yourself. So if you have any additional questions or concerns, please feel free to come by the Academic Resource Center.